It's Okie Country 101.7, Cliff and the Fan Country Morning Show, 8:20 now. Lauren Rich joins me with Rich Consulting. Good morning, how are you? How was your weekend?
I'm good. Good.
Yeah, big old Father's Day weekend.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all done, so I'm sure you had some fun around your house.
Yeah,
And how
it was good. Steaks, grilling.
Really?
Yeah, the usual.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, it was.
It's always good to have a weekend. You know, we have the 4th of July coming up not too long.
I'm ready.
Which, you know, if you think about all the fun of it, and you being a trauma therapist, though, there has to be a different spin on all the booms, the explosions, all of the stuff. And
There's always a different spin on everything, but
Right.
yes, absolutely, you're
I
right.
mean, combat veterans and those that have suffered trauma, we've been a little more aware of it in recent years, and people are trying to.
Do we have one more Monday until
I
the
think
4th of
so.
July? Okay,
Yeah.
we'll cover that next week.
Yeah.
We'll cover.
Something we would
We'll cover
definitely-
loud booms and bangs next
Yeah,
week.
gonna have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's that time.
Sure.
So, topic of the day today.
So today is all about those hunters and shooters, male or female, doesn't really matter, but tactical breathing and deep breathing as a whole. So, you know, when people think about or when you Google or YouTube tactical breathing.
What is tactical breathing?
Tactical breathing is just a fancy word for counting while you're taking in big, deep breaths. That's really the stance on it. It's meant to lower your blood pressure. It's meant to lower your heart rate and all of those kinds of things. The only problem is that a lot of people struggle with the count. I personally have never been able to do the count like they recommend it. I have a lot of people who aren't able to get there because of high blood pressure problems or whatever it may be.
So what's the recommendation? What's making it so hard to achieve this goal of just breathing in and counting? It seems simple.
Some people or some providers say, you know, breathe in with one big deep breath, count to 5, and exhale and count to 5. And if you've ever done any type of hunting or shooting, you know, long range shooting, you know, our military members spend thousands and thousands of hours on the range, and that can be really beneficial when you're teaching, but then when you get to the actual point of execution is when people struggle. And so my advice and my best advice for people is ditch the numbers, forget about it altogether, and use deep breathing and tactical breathing as you need to in everyday life to help calm yourself down if you're frustrated or irritated, whatever it may be. But when you think about, are you a hunter at all?
Yeah, I like
do you
to hunt.
What do you hunt?
I mean, I've hunted all of it. I mean, I've
Anything?
Squirrels, rabbits, deer, all of it. Yeah.
Okay. So let's take your typical deer hunt. And are you an archery guy?
No, but I want to be. I do.
No, but I want to be. Okay.
Yeah, I'm serious. I've been thinking about getting the bow out and honing my skills for this upcoming fall. So.
Okay, well, you're in the perfect time frame to actually start practicing. So, and you don't have to disclose if you don't want to, but there are many hunters out there who are known for the gut shot or nicking a deer in the spine. You know, those terrible shots where we think we wounded them, but they continue to take off, or we have wounded them and it just takes them forever to die and it's miserable and that kind of stuff. A lot of that can be corrected simply by your breathing pattern.
Right.
And so if you are, how many months out are we? What are about 12 weeks out until bow
Right.
season, something like that.
Yeah.
So in the final 12 weeks, because I know people get hunting fever about August, in the final 12 weeks when you are actually practicing, notice your body and the tension before you're about to let the arrow go, and notice your body as you exhale, and just pay attention to those things. You don't have to count. It is much more important that you have awareness with your own body and how you feel than an actual counting system. And the same thing goes for shooting. You know, focusing on the tension that you have prior to pulling the trigger and then actually pulling the trigger and noticing how smooth it is upon exhale, that's where your best shots come into play. So in thinking about all of those concepts on an everyday basis, if you are one who struggles with high anxiety or blood pressure issues, whatever it may be, use those things that you have already learned to help calm your body down. And we don't even have to focus on the tension prior to pulling the trigger. Just imagining and having that guided imagery of pulling the trigger nice and smoothly, noticing the shift in your body, noticing the positive change. those kinds of things can actually help calm you down. And I do that with veterans on a daily basis. We go through the guided imagery at the end of session, and we notice the shift from head to toe, the calmness, the relaxation feeling, and really, I mean, it does help a lot of people. There's only one major caveat, and that's I have a couple of them who come from the EOD or the explosives community, and there's no controlled breathing taught in the explosives community whatsoever.
Really?
Yeah, not with my guys anyway, not in the military. And they have just said, you know, you need to act like it's every other day. We don't want you to get lost or focused on those things because you're dealing with, you know, bombs on a daily basis, and so we don't want you to necessarily sacrifice your quality of work for deep breathing, and so they don't do any work on that.
Huh.
It may be beneficial for some of them to start implementing that, but you know, overall, do what works for you. If you are not a counter and you cannot keep up with the count, or it messes you up, you feel like your shots are bad when you're out in the woods, ditch the count. You know,
Right.
do what your body feels is best.
Because it could be an estimated amount of time, right? You kind of know
Absolutely.
when your body's ready to
Absolutely.
exhale, or
Well,
what
and
kind
if you're on the range and you're doing practice, you know, I can breathe in one time and I can feel the shakes in my body.
Right.
You know, when you actually get to the point of pulling the trigger, and then you can exhale, and if you can just notice it one more time and then let that release through the rest of your body, your shots will be so much better. But when your shots are not in line, or you're hitting animals in the stomach or in the spine, a lot of it probably could be corrected simply through your breathing pattern.
Right. And also, I guess, when you look at life, the way we react to things.
Sure.
Because it's all about reacting
Sure.
and reacting at a proper time. Someone is on your nerves, you know, maybe you're about to snap, whether you're a veteran or not.
Yes,
The
yeah,
breathing
doesn't
can
matter.
relax you.
Doesn't
it can
matter.
help you maybe formulate a better response.
And you know, it's funny you say that, because I always talk to my guys about the difference between reacting and responding.
Mhm.
Reaction is your gut instinct, what you want to do in the moment. So if you're frustrated, if you're if you're on the bypass and people are going 10 under, you know, that kind of, the reaction is the knee-jerk reaction, so to speak, of frustration. We want people to respond. In other words, take a moment to calm yourself down, use that guided imagery of letting that arrow go, you know, noticing the exhale, and then making good decisions from there. But that is the difference between reacting and responding, and your breath can have a lot of power in that
But
moment.
we kind of live in a reacting world, don't we?
Oh my gosh,
So
all
many
we
people
do is
reacting,
react.
very few people responding.
Yes,
But-
all we do is react.
Those that respond, probably a lot better outcome.
Oh, absolutely.
So-
They do a lot better. And if you can not react on the keyboard, it's even better.
Boy, I tell you,
know.
there's a lot of that going on.
Yes.
You know, you get your political view heard, or
Mhm.
someone angers you, and the next day, I mean, it's so easy while just on your phone or mobile device or your computer to let something go, let that arrow go a little early.
Yes, that's exactly right. And you know, you can feel the reaction in your body when you're irritated. And some people will say it's heat. Some people will say it's pressure. There's a tingling or burning. I feel like there's an elephant on my chest. You know, I feel like somebody is squeezing me from the sides, that type of thing. So if you can just take a moment, just a moment before you react and before you knock somebody's lights out, to breathe and calm your body down, you will have a greater benefit in life.
Absolutely.
Across the board.
So responding versus reacting.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
And so
Noticing the exhale. That's
talk
what
a
it's all
little,
about.
if you would, about the process of the breathing, because some people have no idea. Others, we're kind of talking to people that have an outline of it, and they're maybe it's like trying to learn a golf swing.
Mhm.
You're too focused on your body position and everything versus just hitting the ball
Yeah,
down.
that's exactly. That is a perfect example.
And
That
I've
is
had people
exactly
try,
what
no,
it is.
tuck your elbow in, stand like
Yeah.
that. Next thing you know, you feel like you're the 10 man standing up there, and you're
Yes.
totally uncomfortable, and you're unable to hit the ball naturally. And it's because you've listened to everyone, you're too focused on the procedure.
And what works for one doesn't work for another. The kicker, a lot of times with high anxiety, blood pressure, when people get their respiratory system hijacked, so to speak, is that they don't know what's causing it, which almost makes the anxiety worse for some people.
Mhm.
And not knowing why I feel this way, not knowing why I can't make it go away, what will make it better, how do I get out of this, and essentially, how do I make the discomfort go away? That's
Yeah.
where people get lost and stuck, and that's where we live in the reactionary
In the
world.
reactionary world, though, that gives you I don't know, almost a sense of satisfaction to throw that remote control or to throw that that plate or
You
whatever
are-
you're holding, and it's not. It really doesn't, because the minute you do that, the damage that causes becomes the stress.
The throwing of things, the knocking people's lights out. And I've had veterans before who, you know, in the moment where they should be responding, they are too busy reacting, and they'll knock out the infotainment center in their vehicle. And so we have to work on just deep breathing and slowing that process down. But that is simply externalizing that energy. You know, anytime you get wound up like that, you get chemicals in your brain that are from that fight or flight response area, and it's saying it's go time and I have to get this out of my body somehow.
Right. So amazing. Glad that you were able to come in and explain
Yes.
some of this today.
Well, yeah, of course.
And of course, you offer services that can help people. So
Well, gosh, I hope so. Yeah, that is the goal, to help people.
So how can someone reach out to you? You're very approachable.
As always, the Facebook 918-912-2266. You know, just make a phone call. That's probably the easiest way to reach me and make an appointment.
And you have an office here in Muskogee, so
I do. I do have an office in Muskogee.
appointment, and so she's really located over off of York Street. So if you kind of wonder where she is, she's kind of centrally located.
So you have 12 weeks to come see me and improve your shot before bow season opens.
And there you go.
Yes.
A little sports performance and mental
right.
sharpness as well.
That's right.
Thank you. I'm going to practice my breathing. Appreciate it. Lauren
Always
Rich,
a pleasure.
Rich Consulting, our guest this morning on Okie Country 101.7.